over the autofocus menu, there are a lot of settings in here that you really just need to mess around with yourself. They can be used with Canon's higher end autofocus lenses to really customize if you're shooting sports or rather any particular kind of sport. You can adjust your tracking, acceleration, deceleration, sensitivity, autofocus point switching, the rate at which you do all these things, and that's just in the first page here. AI Servo, that's related to, again, higher end Canon EF lenses. They have some functionality that works with this camera very well, not something that I'm going to go into in this video. Here's something that you probably will need regardless of what your how high quality your Canon lens is. Lens electronic manual focus. You can turn this on. You can either enable it after one-shot mode, so when you do a half press of the shutter, if you're not happy with the autofocus, you can reach forward and change the focus on your EF lens. You can disable it after one-shot autofocus, so when you do a half press of the shutter and it autofocuses, you won't be able to manually focus after that. And disable in autofocus mode would turn off any functionality, any manual focus functionality when you have the autofocus mode button selected. AF assist beam firing. There are both infrared and visual light beams that fire in low light situations to assist your autofocus. If you don't want, I'm sure you've been in a low light situation where you've gone to take a picture with autofocus and there's been a bright light that shines out of your camera. That's what's going on here. You can actually turn it to where you can only shoot the infrared. Obviously, that kind of limits your autofocus functionality, but if you're in a situation where you have to use autofocus, but you really don't want to disturb anybody by shining a light in their eyes, then that functionality is what you want to use. If you're not going to be in a low light situation, you can disable the assist beam. The camera will still autofocus, but the assist beam can help in low light situations. One-shot autofocus release priority is what this particular menu setting is. This determines when in the pressing, if you're not using back button focus, when in the pressing of your shutter button it actually focuses. So either at a half press or at the release. Lens drive when autofocus impossible. This means that if the camera cannot attain autofocus, either it will continue to focus search, so you're going to go through your focus range if it can't find an autofocus point, or you can tell it to stop focus search. So it didn't find the autofocus you want, the lens will just stop looking, or the camera will stop looking and the lens will stop moving. Next, you have your selectable autofocus points. This menu setting relates specifically to while you're doing shooting, you can pick while you're live shooting without getting into the menu using this button and also using this button. But from here, this limits how many options you have. Say you only want to pick between the cross type autofocus points or the main 15 or even just 9 points. You don't want to have all 61 points available. Then you can limit yourself within the menu while you're actually live shooting. Select autofocus area selection mode. This specifically relates to how your autofocus functions while you're shooting. A lot of these are going to be something that you're just going to have to kind of find specifically based on the type of shooting that you do. They come automatically on from the factory, and if you find that one or all of them are getting in your way, then you can come in and turn them off yourself. but Canon obviously thinks they're important enough to have on. So autofocus area selection method. This determines how you cycle through your autofocus area selections. That little kind of square rounded rectangle at an angle, that is referring to this button. And then MFN is referring to the small manual function button up here. That spiky half circle there is referring to the finger wheel. Specifically, this is just saying how you would select your autofocus point. So you either hold this and press the manual function button, or you hold this and you use your finger wheel. Orientation linked autofocus point. This is related to whether or not you shoot, if you're constantly changing back and forth between horizontal and vertical shooting, you can tell the camera that you want either the same autofocus point for both, or you can change, either you have an area when you're in horizontal and then a point in vertical, or you can have points specifically in horizontal and vertical. Initial autofocus point selected. This is the image that will pop up in your viewfinder when you pick an autofocus point, or rather when the camera has selected one. You've got a lot of options here. It all depends on your own shooting style, what you want to see in your viewfinder while you're shooting. Autofocus point select. This is Canon's proprietary face tracking autofocus. Or rather their tracking autofocus that they have. You can set face priority or just not face priority and just regular auto tracking autofocus, or you can turn it off completely. AF point selection movement. This is a real simple thing, but if you're going back and forth between autofocus points, you can set it to either stop at the edges, or it'll cycle through continuously. So if you're on the right and you click one more right, you'll go back to the left. AF point display during focus. This is again related to what you want to see in your viewfinder. When you have a half shutter press, what you actually what shows up when you're looking through the Pentaprism. Also, obviously in live view, you'll see some of this stuff. You can set, and you can turn this on and off in your viewfinder. The VF display illumination in particular is the kind of red glow that shows up when you've locked in your autofocus. Autofocus status in viewfinder, you can show it in your field of view or show it outside of view, so in that kind of black area around the image. So as you can tell with that autofocus menu, there are a considerable amount of customizable options, and they're all based on what you want. There's a level of customization here that is just obscene. So if you're somebody who uses autofocus a lot, then definitely dig into those menus and fine tune the camera to how you shoot. You want to make your on-set experience the best you possibly can. If you're not somebody who uses autofocus, or you use it very rarely, then you may never have to go into the autofocus. But the fact that it's there is very cool for the Canon 5D Mark IV. Next, we'll be getting into the rest of the menu settings and in a separate video. And in the video after that, we're going to go into the video menu settings. So again, Media Unlocked. Feel free to find us on Facebook. We'll have a link to the B&H website if you want to go ahead and purchase this camera. You give us a little bit of a kickback, which lets us continue making videos just like this for you. So if you want to, head over to facebook.com/mediaunlocked. Give us a like over there. We'll keep you posted about this camera and others as we get them. Stay tuned for our next video where we continue talking about the menu of the still settings of the Canon 5D Mark IV. And stay tuned.
Hey guys, if you'd like to check out our website where we have all kinds of fun and exciting blogs, videos, and extra information that isn't on our YouTube page, click right here. If you'd like to talk to us or contact us and kind of take a look at all the different stuff that we have going on, we've kind of funneled it all through our Facebook. You can hit our Facebook page right here and follow us or like us. Now, if you like to look at cool pictures and behind the scenes stuff, we do that on Instagram right here. So go on and follow us on Instagram. And of course, we got our cute little bird right here, Mr. Twitter, and you can follow us as we do our short tweets.